So we welcome back our good friend, Siri Karm Singh Khalsa, who is the minister of Sikh Dharma, and for 38 years was founder and president of Boston Language Institute. So we welcome you back up for our morning message.
Thank you again. I just want to say this is the third time I've had the pure pleasure of sharing a Sunday morning with this congregation, and I just want to say what an honor it is, how much I enjoy it. Even driving down here, it's about an hour and a half. I'm just savoring the moment that's about to come. There's a light that's present here that each of you brings to this moment and to this place that's palpable. And we have the yogic teaching is that we have 10 bodies, 9 spiritual ones and 1 physical one. One of the spiritual bodies is your aura. And if your aura is bright and expansive, you're having a great day. If it shrinks and gets a bit dark, you might be not having the best mood, you might catch some germs. But the collective aura in this beautiful temple is so powerful and so palpable and so touching. And I thank you each for being you. And I'm including those who are with us today on Facebook because it's a whole new world. When I thought about what I might share with you today, when Reverend Tony asked me to speak again, I thought, given the times we're living in, the times of true trial, of true calamity, I thought that that's something that I could share a bit about. And hopefully my goal is to make a difference in each of your lives, in the lives of those who are blessing us with their listening at the same time. My spiritual teacher, my beloved spiritual teacher, Yogi Bhajan, once said, "Every calamity is the test of our reality. Never be afraid of it. Whenever you face a calamity with your reality, you will win because God will be on your side." Let me read that again. Every calamity is the test of our reality. Never be afraid of it. Whenever you face a calamity with your reality, you will win because God will be on your side. And when I hear reality, what I'm thinking is faith and surrender. I think of the story of Job in the Bible, where God took everything away from him, his family, his lands, his cattle, his wealth. And Job simply surrendered to God's will. And as a result, everything came back. He had true victory, not just in gaining possessions back, in gaining family back, but in surrendering his soul to God. He achieved the true victory and the true wealth. In the Sikh tradition, the 10th Guru was Guru Gobind Singh. He was known as the warrior saint. And he would only fight when he absolutely had to. Armies are marching towards him, and they won't talk, they won't sit down and try and work out whatever it is. But when he fought, you've probably heard the word ahimsa, which Gandhi practiced, and which is usually translated as doing no harm. But it's more than that. So, for example, in battle, when Guru Gobind Singh fought, he would dip his arrows in gold, so that if he wounded you, there would be money to pay for medical care. If he killed you, there would be money to pay for your burial and to support your family. That's an example of ahimsa. There's some Yiddish words that come to mind that... But nevertheless, it's that caring that we need so much today. When I think of what's going on, one thing that sticks out in my mind is that of the more than 130,000 people who have died so far from the COVID-19, experts estimate that 90% of them would not have died had this thing been handled well from months ago. There are countries that have a completely different experience than we do. One of them is New Zealand, another is Vietnam, another is Greece. It's not about having great resources, it's about using your head. It's about doing the simple things, including simply wearing a mask, which I can't do this morning because I'm speaking to you, that make the huge difference. I think, as I think of the truth that everything that comes to us comes from God and is therefore a blessing. No exceptions, no matter how painful, no matter how challenging. If it comes to us, it comes from God and is therefore a blessing. And I think of a story that we tell in the Sikh tradition about a Maharaja, a great king in India, who somehow bruised his arm. And his vizier said, "Oh, Your Majesty, this is just wonderful. This is just a great moment. I'm so happy." And the king, the Maharaja, was so angry he put the vizier in prison. And then he went on a hunting trip, because if you're king, you go on hunting trips. And today, if you're king, you play golf. But in those days, you went on a hunting trip, and he got lost in the woods, separated from his party, and wandered, lost, and was actually captured by a tribe that practiced human sacrifice. And they tied him up, they were about to sacrifice him, and when they noticed the bruise on his arm, that made him imperfect and therefore inappropriate for their gods. And so they simply let him go and forgot about the whole thing. And then the king, the Maharaja, really got it. He went back to his palace, he released his vizier and said, "I understand what happened and I apologize." That's a truth, by the way, that's taught in many religions. I have a book called Life is a Test by an Orthodox Jew, a Rebbitzin named Jungreis, Jungreis, called Life is a Test, which says the same thing. I have a close friend who's an Orthodox Jew who brings me these books. And it's a general truth. In 1990, I went to my office on a Saturday morning, and the plan was to network our computers. And a close friend who had worked for me for 4 years, from 85 to 89, came with me, and he had real skills. And if you remember back that far, in 1990, networking computers was like Star Wars technology. First we network, then we go to Mars. You know? So we got to the office and found that most of the computers had been stolen in a burglary the night before. And my first thought was, how much am I supposed to handle? And then I remembered what I'd already been sharing with people at the time, and I went into my office, I closed the door, I knelt, and I thanked God for the blessing. And immediately I remembered we had bought the wrong computers. And now with the insurance money, we could buy the right computers. So the principle is that gratitude is the key to success, the key to overcoming whatever calamity, whatever challenge you're dealing with. But it requires also the act of expression. where you look inside yourself, remembering that God, the creator of the universe, makes his, her, or its home inside of each of us. And so you look inside and say, Father, Mother, however you relate to God, thank you for this blessing. And then you meditate on it or pray on it, and then you take action. You'll already feel better immediately. And you'll notice the more you express your gratitude, the more success you'll have, even in the most difficult moments. Your prayers also are more powerful if you look inside yourself. Every tradition teaches this. So rather than, looking out there somewhere to some being who's on the third cloud to the right, it's really important, and it makes your prayers much more powerful if you look inside yourself. And literally, by doing that, you're looking God in the face. And prayer, there are the ritualized prayers that we say in every tradition that are important. But to me, prayer is a conversation. I look inside and I talk to God. And it doesn't always have to, whatever is on your mind and in your heart, God, he, she, or it can handle it. Just look and speak. And what I say sometimes, I get in conversations with friends who aren't really sure there is a God, and I say, fine, look inside yourself. The agnostic's prayer, oh God, if there is a God, save my soul if I have a soul. Look inside yourself and start a conversation. I believe you'll get answers. The teaching is that in prayer, we talk to God. In meditation, which we did earlier this morning for a few minutes, God speaks to us. And my belief is that God speaks to us in many ways, all the time, to everybody. It's not such a big deal. The miracle occurs when we listen. Amen, right? As you can see, I'm a Sikh, and an important tenet of the Sikh faith is honoring all faiths, which I know is a tenet of your practice as well. And no one can say that mine is the best religion. All you can say is mine is the best religion for me. And the white that I wear as a Sikh, because white just as white contains all the colors, the symbolism is that every religion contains the whole truth. We tend to focus, and I've shared this here before, we tend to focus on a different aspect of the truth. But every religion contains the whole truth. If you look at different religions and look for difference, you'll find ample evidence. But if you look for evidence of the oneness of God, if you look for the bright light, the same bright light that shines at the core of every faith, you'll find that too. And part of, as I understand it, part of what happens in the world is that religion is set up to give us a hurdle to jump over. So we hear a certain truth, and then some of us believe, well, that's the only truth. For example, Jesus said, as we know, I am the way, there is no way to the Father but through me. Many interpret that as being exclusive. My belief is that what Jesus was saying is that he was speaking in the space where a spiritual master knows that everything is one, just as God is one. And he was saying there is no way to the Father but through me, the Christ, through me, the Buddha, through me, Mohammed, through me, Guru Ram Das, Guru Nanak, through me, all the great masters who have come or will come. Everything is one, just as God is one. One thing that a religion offers, as little children, we're very close to the Spirit because we've just been pure Spirit. I remember I was at a funeral of a young woman some years ago, and a father said, "What am I going to tell my 2.5-year-old daughter who played with Lisa all the time?" And I said, if I can offer a suggestion, tell her that just as before she had to cross the street to visit Lisa, now she can visit Lisa by looking inside herself. And he liked that idea, but I promise you a 2-year-old will understand it even better than we do. You know, I've been told that I can't open this up to questions, but I've said the essence of what I came to say. And what I can say is that always remember that you are part of God, and that whoever you are dealing with, even in the most difficult situations, the most painful situations, when you want to use all the 4-letter words, I'm sure nobody here would use a 4-letter word, but remember that whoever you're dealing with God. And the honor, the goal is to look inside yourself. You look inside yourself. As I started to say, I want to say one more thing. As I started to say, as little children, we're intimately connected to the Spirit because we've just been pure Spirit. At some point during childhood, that intimate connection is socialized out of us. And then the mission of the rest of life is to reconnect. And that's what religion is supposed to do. Religion is from the Latin religere, to reconnect. It has the same root as ligament. And religion is one way. But I urge you, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but I urge you to remember that everybody's religion has validity. And there's one God and many paths to him, her, or it. And in that spirit, I join you this morning. I hope I'll join you for many mornings. And I'm just truly honored to be with you. And I just want to give you my love, my gratitude, and whatever blessings I can. Just by being yourselves, you make a difference in the world. Always remember that. There'll be times when you wonder, oh, can I reach out? Can I say something? Well, who's listening to me? God is listening to you. And you'd be surprised when you speak from the heart and you speak with conviction and you speak with love, how powerful your words and your actions can be. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass., and visit us online at unityoncapecod.org. This video was made possible in part through a grant from Unity Worldwide Ministries and the Templeton Foundation.